Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to YouTube channel Study with Kamran. Dear viewers, today we will discuss a new episode of video lecture about respiratory physiology. In this lecture, we will discuss the third factor which affect the airflow to the alveoli, that is airway resistance, airways resistance. The other two factors, that is lung compliance and elastic behavior of lungs, we have discussed in the previous video lecture. Airway resistance, uh, the delivery of air to the alveoli is influenced by the resistance offered to the airflow passing through trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli, the interconnected conducting tubes with various diameters and lengths. The interrelationship between the resistance and the tube parameters, that is length and the radius, along with viscosity of air, can best be explained by Peier's law. Also known as the Hagen-Peier's equation. This equation states R is equal to 8 eta L over pi R exponent 4. In this equation, eta represents the viscosity of the air, L length of the tube, and R represents the radius of the tube. In case of respiratory system, the length of the tube and the viscosity of the air is almost constant. So this equation becomes R inversely proportional to 1 over R exponent 4. This equation shows that the airway resistance is inversely proportional to the radius to the power of 4. Hence, a small decrease in diameter of an airway would cause resistance increase 16 folds. Accordingly, the smaller airways such as bronchioles show more flow resistance than larger airways like the trachea. But nearly 90% of airway resistance can be attributed to trachea and bronchi, both of which are rigid structures. Their diameter normally does not change, but mucus accumulation from allergies or infections can dramatically increase resistance. Normally, bronchioles do not contribute to airway resistance. However, they contain smooth muscles activity whose activity is under reflex nervous control or altered by hormones or paracrines, thus having great impact on airway resistance. Their smooth muscle contraction cause bronchoconstriction or bronchodilation, and relaxation lead to bronchodilation. Bronchoconstriction occurs by the histamine release from mast cells either by tissue damage or allergic reaction, and bronchodilation occurs due to increased carbon dioxide in expired air. The bronchiolar smooth muscles are primarily innervated by parasympathetic nervous system that cause bronchoconstriction. Bronchoconstriction, a reflex needed to protect lower respiratory tract to irritants. The sympathetic innervation is sparse. sparse, but the bronchioles are well supplied by beta 2 receptors. Beta 2 receptors on activation cause bronchodilation. The whole scenario of airway resistance involves around three factors, that is lung volume, airways obstruction, and bronchial smooth muscle tone. Lung volume, as lung volume increases, resistance decreases. In fact, at very low lung volumes, the small airway may close completely. Airway obstruction, it may be caused by several factors. That is, these factors are excess mucus production, inflammation, and edema of the airway walls, and airways collapse. Different diseases such as asthma and chronic bronchitis are characterized by overproduction of mucus. They are also characterized by inflammation and edema of the airway walls. Emphysema involves a breakdown or destruction of alveoli and leads to airway collapse. Bronchial smooth muscles tone. It is regulated by neural and hormonal mechanisms as well as paracrines. Disease in which airflow is diminished are called obstructive lung diseases. They include asthma, obstructive sleep apnea, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. The latter two are called chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. Obstructive sleep apnea, breathlessness, results from obstruction of the upper airway due to normal relaxation of pharynx and tongue. Asthma attacks range from mild to life-threatening. Responsible agents for asthma include acetylcholine, histamine, substance P, and leukotrienes from mast cells, macrophages, and eosinophils. This is all about what airways resistance. Inshallah, we will discuss the respiratory volumes and lung capacities in the next video lecture. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even